If you are 18 to 35 years old and feel the call to full-time ministry, I've got exciting news. Revival Today Bible Institute this fall, September 2022. If you feel the call of God into full-time ministry, a strong biblical foundation is essential. However, education alone is insufficient. Sound biblical training coupled with the power of the Holy Spirit is the vital dynamic duo. God has called Jonathan and I to open up a training school that offers live, on-campus classes to equip the next generation in fulfilling the call of God in their lives. Revival Today Bible Institute's mission is to raise ministers of excellence who deliver the gospel of Jesus Christ in word and in power. Will you join us? Will you join us in seeing this generation transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ? If you want more information or you want to apply, go to revivaltodaybibleInstitute.com. I love you. See you there.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? Charles, good morning. There we go. Chat's working. Good to see you, everybody. We were gone yesterday, but we're back today. Cindy, good morning to you. Wayne, good morning. Welcome, everybody. Let us know where you're watching from. I always like to see where everybody's watching from. Where in the world? Lisa, good morning to you. I like seeing that sunshine emoji. I'm not gonna lie. D&D Investments from Portland, Oregon. Cindy from Michigan. It just makes me feel happy. Sunshine outside.
Sunshine outside.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh my gosh. It's wonderful. It is summer out there.
It is.
It's lovely.
It is. Scott, good morning. Nice to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share this broadcast. We're trying to put CNBC out of business. Wayne is watching from Guatemala. Panajachel. How do you pronounce it?
I think it's Hachel.
Panajachel, Guatemala.
There you go.
Lisa from the Sunshine State. Good old Florida. All right, well, let's get into it this morning. See what's going on in the world.
Happening.
What you got for us, Matea?
Well, I had to include this to start because Elon Musk is on
that
point.
what he tweeted?
This is what he tweeted out. Here it comes. I feel like everybody's just bracing come June. They're just like, oh, we're so done with it. But he did tweet this out, and I congratulate him on this because everybody's feeling it. I think everybody like Clinch Fest is prepping for June, so.
That is crazy that he tweeted that out.
You know what? I'm all for it.
He's like, you know what? I already lost my ESG #1 spot with everybody,
else,
so might as well just embrace
Who
it.
cares? And he doubled down on voting Republican again. So he's just like, he doesn't care anymore.
He's done with it.
He doesn't care. That's great. I wish more people were like that.
People are still buying Teslas, though.
They
as
are.
much as the news is trying to make it sound like they're horrible vehicles.
Yep. Yep, exactly. Next. First, we had Elon Musk defending the First Amendment. Now we have Joe Rogan defending the Second. The left no longer dominates the public spotlight like they used to. This is not just with regards to like constitutional elements happening within society, but you also see it in the schools. You see it in culture. You see it in media. You see it in with Netflix refusing to continue going woke. So this is happening everywhere. And I think that's why at least I see so many people doubling down and trying to hold on, because they know if they let go even a bit, it's all gonna unravel.
I read a very interesting article. I thought it was, I almost thought it was Breitbart, but it was Fox News, an article about the education secretary for Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
And he was an official under George H.W. Bush too.
Okay.
But it was a very interesting article, and basically what he was saying in a nutshell is, what Evangelist Jonathan's been saying in our services and in the service, that one of the main reasons for all of these cultural issues is because there's no fathers.
Yes.
And so he was saying that, and it's an article in Fox News. It was like on their main, I was reading this, I'll send it to you.
Wow.
It was very interesting to see that like in a mainstream media, an article like that, and then promoted like on the first page.
Dang. You know what? I actually saw one on, now that you say that, I saw one on the New York Post as well.
Yeah.
So there's various, it's interesting, like people can't deny what's happening anymore. So that's awesome.
Because they've done everything that they can do. Now you're faced with like, okay, if we've done all of these things, now we got to look at like what is the actual cause of all of this.
Exactly. And people are going to want to fix it.
And they're not going to, but they have to.
They have to fix it. Exactly. Next.
Bill Bennett? That might have been the one.
That sounds right. Justin Biden. U.S. to send Ukraine advanced rocket systems and munitions to hit key Russian targets on the battlefield.
I thought his name was Joe Biden, not Justin Biden.
Justin Biden. Good one. Good one. Nice one, Patrick. Yes. So the war in Ukraine is still happening. It's very interesting. I've been watching everything, and it's like they move from one distraction to another. And now comes June, and out the window goes Ukraine, and comes the rainbow flag, and nobody's really paying attention anymore to what's happening overseas. But the U.S. is still sending funds and resources to escate this situation.
These are long-range weapon systems.
These are long-range weapons. And here's the issue, for me anyway, is at least I'm hearing a lot of reports of Russia taking over various parts of Ukraine, still gaining more ground and taking over the resources that the United States is giving to Ukraine. So Russia's taking over those resources. So the U.S. is essentially equipping Russia at this point.
Nothing new. Look at Afghanistan.
Exactly. That's exactly where it's going.
You got to sell weapons somehow.
I know. But it's all just going back to the people that they say that are bad, and it's a big mess. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting report. Next. Cyber agency voting software vulnerable in some states. Let's read this. I'm liking the new music, by the way.
I know.
It's funky. Electronic voting machines from a leading vendor used in at least 16 states have software vulnerabilities that leave them susceptible to hacking if unaddressed, the nation's leading cybersecurity agency says in an advisory sent to state election officials. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, or CISA, said there is no evidence the flaws in the Dominion voting systems equipment have been exploited to alter election results. The advisory is based on testing by a prominent computer scientist and expert witness in a long-running lawsuit that is unrelated to false allegations, of course, of a stolen election pushed by former President Donald Trump. Obviously, this is a very left-wing biased article, but we won't read the rest because it literally just is exhaustive. But I wanted to show you that this is about Dominion voting systems, their equipment, and this is at least 16 states. I'm hearing that potentially more could be added to that list for election officials in states to be aware of, utilizing this equipment potentially before midterms. So happy to see that they're actually bringing this up. Is it too late for this to be brought up? I don't know. I don't think it is.
Well, I think they're bringing it up because if there's a landslide,
Exactly. They can blame it yet again.
they can blame it yet again on, oh, this is a whatever.
Exactly. So they're just prepping the field. That's all they're doing.
Exactly.
Next.
Just in U.S.
We're always going to have that now, aren't we? Justice Department asks court to reverse rule lifting requirement for COVID masks on airplanes and trains. And I was like, okay, this must be an old tweet. This has to be an old tweet. And no, it was not just tweeted on May 31st, but this was released by the Justice Department recently. So they're still pushing for this, and all of society is done with it. I don't see how they're going back to it. Even Europe, you don't have to fly with a mask anymore.
Germany just lifted all restrictions.
Exactly. So it's like people are done. They're not going back. Next. All right, I thought this was interesting. The AstraZeneca vaccine may increase the risk of the serious neurological condition Guillain-Barré syndrome, with the jab's Trojan horse delivery system possibly to blame. Scientists believe in a discovery which may apply to similar vaccines. I have seen 5. Yesterday I was going through some media.
This is from the Telegraph?
This is from the Telegraph.
Wow.
I have seen CNN. I have seen different publications in the UK. Canadian publications, all establishment media, and they're all saying this kind of line, not just about AstraZeneca, J&J, Pfizer, Moderna, and so I thought it was very interesting. They're all just pushing out. Just be aware, like, this is the reality of what people are facing now if they've taken this jab. Very bizarre. Next. This is the regime that crushed those in Wuhan like Dr. Li Wenling, who courageously tried to warn the world about the coronavirus. Nura wrote on Twitter, World Health Organization elects China to its executive board with 0 objections from developed countries. Yet again, the UN and all of its systems, all of its sister organizations are just a big joke at this point. Also, North Korea was brought onto the disarmament board to lead it.
Yes, good,
So
good.
It's very good. Very good to see. Next. New pupils at 4 primary schools in Wales are to be fed insects such as crickets, grasshoppers, silkworms, locusts, and mealworms as part of a project to gauge children's appetite for alternative protein. This, to me, has the UN and WEF written all over it. To be honest, this is part of the whole sustainability project that they have going on in the schools. So not only are schools taking on the UN's sexualization programs and curriculums, but now they're also taking on this radical sustainability project pushed by the UN system as well, primarily UNICEF.
Delicious.
Don't really know if it's highly nutritious, but it's not really going to get you very far. But yeah, it's bizarre. Next. Doctors confirm trans swimmer does have unfair advantage over biological women. This is about the...
How did the Daily Mail not get banned?
This is everywhere. This is because everybody's pushing it. It's very sad that we have to actually state this, but the fact that it's being pushed by people who are doctors, by the mainstream establishment media, that they're willing to actually publish this kind of stuff now after it's being spoken by doctors like this one. I'm happy to see it. There's this shift happening, and it's slow, but I think it'll be sped up quite rapidly. Next. New Biden's Yellen on inflation. I was wrong then. See it.
But it wasn't just the president who got it wrong a year or so ago. I want to play for you what you said about inflation last year. Listen to this.
Is there a risk of inflation? I think there's a small risk, and I think it's manageable. I don't anticipate that inflation is going to be a problem, but it is something that we're watching very carefully.
Was it a mistake, Madam Secretary, to downplay this inflation risk? Did that contribute to the problems we're all seeing right now?
Well, look, I think I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. As I mentioned, there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that have affected our economy badly that I at the time didn't fully understand.
Then why is she the secretary? If you couldn't see this coming, she's literally stating that she's incompetent on this matter, and she should not have been ever put in charge.
No, I have an article about that as well, because I was reading it this morning that she said, because the majority of people uncheck the market.
Yeah. Could have told the world what was happening.
And I mean, I'm sure there's some that have degrees in as economists and finance and whatever else, but she's supposedly she was a Fed chairman.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to see that stuff coming if everybody else can see it coming.
Exactly. Next. Oh.
Look at that. Yellen. I was wrong about inflation, didn't fully understand supply bottlenecks. How are you a Fed chairman and a secretary of the Treasury if you don't understand bottlenecks?
It's so sad.
Let's see it. During an interview aired on Tuesday's broadcast of CNN's Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen admitted that she was wrong about inflation and that while unanticipated and large shocks to the economy are part of the reason, she also didn't fully understand supply bottlenecks that have hurt the economy. Wow. Yellen reacted to clips of her downplaying the inflation threat in 21 by stating, "I think I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. As I mentioned, there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that have affected our economy badly that I at the time didn't fully understand." Wow. We understood it on Check the Market.
Yeah, we did.
But we recognize that now the Federal Reserve is taking the steps that it needs to take. Too late. It's up to them to decide what to do. And for our part, President Biden is focused on supplementing what the Fed does with actions we can take to lower the costs that Americans face for important expenditures they have in their budgets. Prescription drugs is one example, of course. They always got to mention that one first. Healthcare costs, utility bills. If Congress is willing to pass some of the proposals to boost the use of non-renewables, I think that can serve to bring down an important cost that the households face. Yes, they should have never done that in the first place.
Exactly.
We all realize what an important and huge burden inflation is placing on American households. I don't think you do realize. Continue. Binance, cryptocurrency superstar, super company. Binance raises $500 million fund to invest in Web3 as crypto slides into bear market. By Ryan Brown. Is this the time to invest? Let's see it. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, is launching its own venture capital fund. The company's venture arm, Binance Labs, said Wednesday that it's raised $500 million for its debut startup fund, securing backing from venture capital firms, DST and Briar Capital, as well as unnamed family offices and corporations. Binance Labs plans to use the capital to invest in companies building Web3. Though still an ill-defined term, Web3 loosely refers to a hypothetical future iteration of the internet that's more decentralized than online platforms today and incorporates blockchain, the shared digital ledgers behind most major cryptocurrencies. The launch of Binance's new fund arrives at a time when Bitcoin and other digital currencies are down sharply. Bitcoin has plunged more than 50% since reaching an all-time high of nearly 69,000 in November. That's taken a toll on publicly listed crypto companies like Coinbase, whose shares have plunged 69% since the start of 22. Investors fear the slump will feed through to privately held crypto startups. It already has. While the startup valuations of $1 billion or more are slowing down a bit, there's no current impact in early-stage private markets, because early-stage private markets for cryptocurrencies is basically me and my computer. Binance Labs is hoping to capitalize on the recent plunge in digital assets to find founders building what it sees as the next big thing in tech. Its bets will be split into pre-seed, early stage, and growth equity, and the fund will invest in tokens. Markets are open, everybody.
Very open.
And let's take a look here. Dow Jones up 224 points. NASDAQ up 109 and the S&P up 24. It was a roller coaster there in the pre-markets. Yesterday it was up, and then this morning it was down early morning, but now it's up again. Oil is at $116 a barrel. Let's see what else we got. Bitcoin. Let's take a look at cryptocurrencies. The overall market's down about 1%. Bitcoin is up 0.4% over the last 24 hours. Trading back up over 31,000. 31,823. Ethereum is at 1900, 1964. Cardano 61, XRP 42. Going up 1 cent at a time. Solana 45. Dogecoin 8.7 cents. Let's see, Avalanche 26, Shiba Inu 0.000012.
Wow, it's a lot of zeros.
It is a lot of zeros. I don't even want to know what SafeMoon's at. If somebody still owns SafeMoon, let us know what that's trading at. 15 cents for XLM for Stellar Lumens. Joanne says she caught the bell and muted before my office would complain. Just tell them the market's open. Oh, man.
Goodness. That's awesome.
Let's continue to see the article. Binance Labs investment portfolio includes business news magazine Forbes and Sky Mavis, the company behind popular non-fungible token game Axie Infinity. It was also an investor in Terraform Labs, the embattled Singapore startup behind the failed stablecoin project Terra. Uh-oh. But yeah, so Binance is looking to buy the dip there, looking to buy some companies. I think they're setting themselves up to be a big player in Web3. If not, they probably want to be the biggest player in Web3. All right, continue. We can go to the next one. OPEC weighs suspending Russia from oil production deal. Western sanctions have begun to take a toll on Moscow's petroleum output. Let's see it. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Some OPEC members are exploring the idea of suspending Russia's participation in an oil production deal as Western sanctions and partial European ban begin to undercut Moscow's ability to pump more. OPEC delegates said this is a huge deal. Mm-hmm. Because if OPEC is moving away from Russia, they're going to be, even though Russia isn't a member of OPEC, they're a member of OPEC Plus.
Yeah.
And so they'll be out there by themselves, alone. This was basically the only, organization that was still sticking with them. Exempting Russia from its oil production targets could potentially pave the way for Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and other producers in the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries to pump significantly more crude, something that the US and European nations have pressed them to do as the invasion of Ukraine sent oil prices soaring above $100 a barrel. I wonder what the negotiations are in the background, because I'm sure that, as elections, this is just speculation, but as the elections are coming closer and closer, I'm sure that there's more and more pressure on these types of organizations to do something to cut the oil price so there can be some good news. Can you explain more what is Web3? Yes, Web3 is basically a blockchain decentralized web that's controlled by everybody and not just, different large organizations. That's what Web3 is. Where were we? Russia, one of the world's 3 largest oil producers, agreed with OPEC and 9 non-OPEC nations last year to pump more crude each month, but its output is now expected to fall about 8% this year. Ooh. It couldn't be determined whether Russia would agree to an exemption from the deal's production targets. So far, there's no formal push for OPEC to pump more oil to make up for any potential Russian shortfall, but some members in the Persian Gulf have begun planning for an output increase sometime in the next few months, delegates said. Continue. OPEC's 13 members and 10 non-OPEC producers led by Russia are set to meet on Thursday, when they are expected to approve a planned increase of 432,000 barrels a day. I don't know what that's going to do. Part of a series of incremental monthly increases designed to bring production back to pre-pandemic levels. We are pre-pandemic. I don't understand why production isn't there. Together, the OPEC and non-OPEC producers call themselves OPEC+. Spokesperson for Russia's energy ministry said she wouldn't comment until the OPEC+ meeting on Thursday. So we'll see what happens there. It'll be interesting for sure. Sandra says, did you know the first electric car was made in the 1800s? Yes, it's actually very interesting. If you go back and look at the history of electric vehicles, there's some that I've seen that were like, horse-drawn carriages that were reconfigured with electric motors.
Yeah,
it's very interesting how long they've had them.
Same with vehicles run off of water. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
running
very,
off of water?
Running off of water.
I'll have to look
very
into that.
Fascinating. Yes.
Huh. Continue?
Not the 1800s, but
Yeah.
close to.
I have seen articles, but I've never seen like a working vehicle. Prototype or anything like that. Yeah. Continue. Next one. Crypto's future is even more exciting and maybe more volatile than its present. Let's see it. Few areas in the tech world are quaking like crypto. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have lost 1.6 trillion of value since the market peaked last November.
Ooh.
Tighter monetary policy and fears of a recession are weighing not only on stocks, but also, in the case of crypto, on an asset whose hype has long exceeded its real-world uses. The recent collapse of a major stablecoin, which wiped out $40 billion in a few weeks, isn't instilling confidence in the crypto ecosystem either. I have never been more confident. I'm just kidding. Still, Bitcoin, the most recognizable cryptocurrency, is up fivefold from its pre-pandemic days, and the industry has expanded to legions of other blockchains, tokens, and apps. The crypto market, worth $1.2 trillion, now encompasses decentralized finance or DeFi platforms for trading and lending, non-fungible tokens that grant owners some property rights for things like art or video, and stablecoins, which are supposed to act like crypto dollars, holding a peg to a US dollar with the backing of reserve assets. Yet despite its vast technological and financial potential, the crypto industry says it's finding it tough to break into the mainstream as investors retrench into safer assets while regulators bear down with more rules. Is crypto facing an existential crisis? Or as the bulls argue, is this a cyclical blip for technology that will revolutionize markets, transform global commerce, and even form the basis for a new version of the internet called Web3? We asked a panel of industry experts to weigh in at our first ever crypto roundtable. This is from Barron's. Continue. Our panelists included Dan Moorhead, founder and CEO of Pantera Capital, and all these other people. The roundtable took place in mid-May. An edited version of the discussion follows. We don't have to look at the discussion. Bitcoin is down 60% from its peak price. It's looking like another crypto winter. The prior one, Bitcoin lost 82% of its value and took 3 years to return to its previous high. Is this cold stretch comparable? I don't think it is. Continue. So, I don't think cryptocurrency is going to be in a winter. There could be some more pain ahead, just like there is with the stock market. But I don't think it's going anywhere. 12% of people in the US use it. Globally, it's even higher in some countries. So I don't think it's going anywhere.
And the integration into like utilizing it on a daily basis for payments is just growing.
Yeah. So, non-fungible tokens is growing.
Exactly.
So I think that's going to continue to grow, and they're pushing it.
Yeah,
with,
they are.
With the whole like metaverse thing, they're going to continue to push it, and that's where you need that.
Exactly.
Even I don't think that the U.S. coming out with a stable coin with a central bank digital currency is still not going to do away with those cryptocurrencies because the central bank digital currency is going to act more like a stable coin. So stablecoins might be affected by it, but I don't think that the cryptocurrencies like Ethereum or Bitcoin would be affected by it. So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents there. Let's see the next one. DeLorean is back for the future with a brand new EV. Do we have a picture of it? Look at that.
Ooh.
DeLorean Alpha 5. Back in the 80s, the original DeLorean Motor Company began developing a sedan that featured 2 gull-wing doors, but the company went bankrupt before it could be finished and before being featured in the first Back to the Future movie. The new DeLorean is keeping the coupe silhouette intact while raising the utility level a tad with additional seating. The Alpha 5 incorporates those famous gull-wing doors, which swing open to reveal rows of seats in the DeLorean sedan. Are we going to see, here's a question for everybody, are we going to see another Back to the Future with this new sedan?
I've never seen it, so I don't know what it is.
DeLorean is targeting some pretty impressive stats for its latest creation. The company says the Alpha 5, you need to watch it. It's an American staple.
Okay, I will.
The Alpha 5 can hit 60 miles per hour in 2.99 seconds and go from 0 to 88 miles per hour in 4.35 seconds for those in the know. The top speed of 155 miles an hour. DeLorean says the car will also have a 300-mile range and a battery size of over 100 kilowatts. The question is, hopefully they don't go public with hype around, a new DeLorean, and then let all the investors down, just like Rivian and all the other electric car companies have.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's just another electric vehicle. All the remakes are happening, yes. I mean, they're running out. They're running out of ideas in Hollywood, so that's probably why. Let me see here. My computer shut off right before I went on.
Nancy went to college with DeLorean designer's son. Cool.
The DeLorean designer. Man.
Could you...
Well...
Here's one thing. Could you explain for people, and myself included, benefits and risks between investing in stablecoins versus something like Bitcoin or Ethereum?
A stablecoin is basically just a coin that is pegged to the US dollar.
Okay.
So it would be like you keeping your money, you keeping your money stable. If you put your money into Bitcoin, there's ups and downs.
Right.
And then if you sell Bitcoin, you'd put it into a stable coin so that you can basically have US dollars. Because a lot of exchanges don't let you buy US dollars. So what you have to do on a lot of exchanges is you have to buy, especially international exchanges, is you have to buy stable coins and then take those stable coins to, a US exchange or something like that, and then change it for US dollars that you can then put into your account.
Right.
But with like Coinbase, for example, or other, Uphold, you can transfer your cryptocurrencies directly into US dollars. So you can sell it for US dollars, which you can then put into your account so you can use your debit card and things like that. But yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So for a first-time investor, stablecoin?
Stablecoin is basically a US dollar.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin is a store of value. So Bitcoin,
Okay.
because Bitcoin doesn't have a lot of utility because the blockchain is so slow.
Right.
It's more of a store of value. So it's more like gold. It's like they call it basically gold of the internet. And then Ethereum has more utility because Ethereum is a blockchain on which a lot of different apps are built. A lot of different other companies build their product on the Ethereum blockchain and on the Ethereum infrastructure. So they use the Ethereum network to sell NFTs and things like that. So you would have to pay for those NFTs in Ethereum, and it's all the codes and everything is kept on the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay.
So you can see the transactions.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then remember that Amazon is doing their stock split. I believe they're going to start trading with it on June 6th. So if you're interested in getting in on that, I know that with a lot of those high-profile ones like Apple and Tesla in the past, you on stock split day you could actually make some money because it, you know, everybody's getting in, and so there's a couple percent to be made with that. Patrick, is Luna's 2.0 a good investment? Luna 2.0 a good investment? I don't think so. I would stay away from Luna. I would stick with, you know, even Tether is a little. Right now, I honestly, just because this is gonna sound horrible. Just because like BlackRock and companies like that are involved in USDC, the stablecoin USDC, that's the one that I put the most trust in.
Hey.
Because I don't think they're gonna let it fail.
It's how the world works now.
Bitcoin needs mined. Yes, it's not material form like gold. It's not, you know, but because it doesn't have, because you know, it's Bitcoin, comparing it to gold. You can't, I mean you can, but not a lot of people carry like gold bars around with them to buy things, and not a lot of people will accept it. And it's the same with Bitcoin. It's just something that you put your money in for safety. I mean, not that Bitcoin is that safe. It's still very volatile, but it's you know, that's basically what it's compared to. I also looked at Elio Motors, ELIO.
Never heard of them.
Can you guys pull up that website? ELIO Motors. It's actually very interesting. They're looking to create a like a commuter vehicle. It has 3 wheels. I don't know how much it would catch on in the US, but it is a publicly traded company. I think it's trading right around 30 cents. Let me take a look here. I know that somebody asked me about Elio.
Mizzo says Bitcoin has nothing backing it, ? Do they have nothing backing it?
No, just like the US dollar has nothing backing it except for the full faith and whatever of the US government, which depends on how much. Everything only has as much of a value as people will put on it. So that's, you know, that's just economics.
Yep.
Yeah. If somebody isn't willing to pay, like right now we see people are not willing to pay the interest rates to refinance their mortgages that are out now, and so a lot of people aren't refinancing, and that's why it drops. So if there's more people, but it's just, you know, faith, I guess, in the system that keeps it afloat. Do they have it up? Look at that.
What the?
So Elio Motors, a publicly traded company, like, you know, with a lot of electric car companies, if you want, it's right now trading at 33 cents. It was at $73. It's at one point here. It's over the counter, so it's not traded on any public exchange.
Are they going for more the luxury, or are they going more for
It's more commuter.
Commuter.
Yeah, it's because they're selling it for $14,000.
That's it?
Yeah. So it's basically just a one-seater commuter vehicle.
Jeez.
That you can use to commute back and forth to work to save on gas. I think it could work in, you know, in big cities. I don't know how much this would work outside of that. And it doesn't look that great. But so I don't know how many people would be willing to give up their vehicles for something like this unless gas skyrockets even more than it is now. But it's still interesting. I think it would catch on for sure in Asia.
Totally.
In in Japan, I think this would work out very well, where they have a ton of those small vehicles driving around.
India.
India?
India?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But for the US, I'm not, you know, I'm sure they'll sell some, even just as like a fun vehicle to drive.
There'll be toys for people.
So I took a look at them, took a look at their financials. They're obviously still in the research and development stage. They're, they haven't sold a whole lot. So it's still in the beginning stages, but at 33 cents, if that's something you're interested in investing in, why not throw $100 in and see what happens to it? Could be the next Tesla. $100 to $1,000 a share.
Heck no. I'm saying no right off the start.
If they sell, if these things sell like hotcakes, if they get them into the Asian markets and they start, maybe.
Yeah, but Tesla carries with it a prestige.
It does.
I don't see any of that potential in Elio.
No. But even if it goes from 33 cents to $1, you've still tripled your money.
Exactly.
So that could potentially be one for you to research. Take a look at Elio Motors. ELIO. It's traded over the counter. Looks like it was designed on Microsoft Paint.
Yes, it does.
They were really trying to keep the costs down for it. Rom, you've seen this one on the road. I haven't seen one of those.
I've never seen one.
I think you're thinking of the slingshot. The KTM slingshot, yeah, which is that's different because that has a motor in it. It's not electric. This one's electric. Any other electric car companies before Tesla that we should research to invest in? NIO, apparently, I'm still invested in NIO. I'm bag holding on that thing.
NEO?
NIO.
NIO.
Yeah, it's a Chinese electric vehicle company, but their sales are going up again, so it could be one. Florida does have some fancy stuff on the road. They've got a lot of slingshots down there. Awesome. So take a look at that, ELIO. Take a look at Amazon if you want to get into it for the before the stock split. There's a couple of other companies that I researched. I'll go over those with you tomorrow. If you would like to invest in Revival today, we'll give you an opportunity to do that now. I have seen some serious returns investing in good soil, investing in the kingdom of God. That's where I've seen the greatest returns in my life. Better than any stock market returns that I've gotten. And so it's important that you invest in the kingdom of God and that you partner with the kingdom of God, because if you put him first, he'll put you first. So if you'd like to do that today, we'll give you an opportunity to do that. Here are the ways to give. revivaltoday.com/give. Text RT to 50155. $RTGive, Venmo at RTGive. PayPal. Cryptocurrencies. If you want to get rid of the last bit of cryptocurrency. I'm just kidding. All right. And Revival Today for our P.O. Box for checks. Revival Today. P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. Don't forget to claim your offer. What are we doing for claim your offer? Cryptocurrency Trader's Handbook. We'll send that out to you. If you're interested in cryptocurrencies a little bit more, we'll get that sent to you as a thank you for partnering with us here at Revival Today. Thank you all for tuning in. Ram says he saw one of those in Utah and one in Florida. Maybe they are on the road down there already. Interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you share the broadcast. And you want to close us out again?
As always, go out there and make some money.
That's right. See you all tomorrow.
Friends and the CTM crew. Yes. Crypto Island, yeah, boy. Crypto Island, yeah, boy. Crypto Island, yeah, boy. We are the B.O.D. Yeah. Crypto Island, boy, yeah. Crypto Island, boy, yeah. Shout out to P Money Friends and the CTM crew. Gotta hear from the Island boys, yeah. Big shout out to y'all, man. Check the market. All right.
If you are 18 to 35 years old and feel the call to full-time ministry, I've got exciting news. Revival Today Bible Institute this fall, September 2022. If you feel the call of God into full-time ministry, a strong biblical foundation is essential. However, education alone is insufficient. Sound biblical training coupled with the power of the Holy Spirit is the vital dynamic duo. God has called Jonathan and I to open up a training school that offers live, on-campus classes to equip the next generation in fulfilling the call of God in their lives. Revival Today Bible Institute's mission is to raise ministers of excellence who deliver the gospel of Jesus Christ in word and in power. Will you join us? Will you join us in seeing this generation transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ? If you want more information or you want to apply, go to revivaltodaybibleinstitute.com. I love you. See you there.